Competitiveness is how countries create the best economic, social and environmental conditions for economic development. It measures what makes up this development, things like policies, institutions and productivity. Simply put, it monitors the vital elements that make a country productive and benchmarks each nation's performance. So why does it matter? Striving for competitiveness is striving for rising prosperity. It means creating more opportunities for all to improve the way people live. A competitive economy is most likely to grow sustainably. So how do we measure it? There are 12 main elements that drive the productivity of a country. Things like how institutions perform, how good their infrastructure is, their macroeconomic environment, their technological readiness, and their capacity to innovate. Positive and negative changes both have far-reaching effects on the bigger picture. It's these interconnections that lie at the heart of a country's development. For example, strong innovation is more likely to be achieved with a healthy, well-educated, well-trained workforce in a country that has the ability to invest in research and development and has the transport infrastructure to move its goods and people where they need to be. How can focusing on competitiveness make a difference? It helps policymakers diagnose what makes one country more productive than another, giving them a clear picture of the direct impact of their policies. Competitiveness takes into account the hospitals that care for us, the schools that educate our children, the development of the technologies we take for granted, the roads we navigate, the financial markets that allow us to make critical investments, the prospects for employment, our present and future living standards. Because it's all about creating a better life for everyone.
A lot of times this whole notion of building a community and building the economy is left to government. It's left to people that are running the chambers of commerce and the various economic development organizations. And it's usually left to kind of the people whose job it is to do economic development, community development. And the fact that the principals are here willing to participate is something I find very, very unusual and very, very encouraging. I've done a little bit of work, actually. We've looked a bit at the Columbus economy, and I think you should be here. I think there's some real issues about the vitality of the economy. I don't think the economy is performing at a particularly advanced rate. I think there's some danger signs here that we need to talk about. But I think the first step, and you all know that, presumably, because you know your data. But I think the first step in kind of revitalizing a region is really to get the leaders together to feel committed to being part of the process. Because, as I'll say in a minute, we found that the whole process of community and particularly of economic development has changed over the last 10 or 20 years. It used to be a government-driven process. Now we find that if it's a government-driven process, it fails. Now it has to be a private sector-driven process in which the business community and the university community are absolutely driving the process rather than sort of lobbying in complaints and requests for the government officials. So the fact that we have this group here is really extraordinary, and that more than anything else, even David.
Days of protection is really over, and that is one reality that we have to wake up to. That over 90% of the businesses in the region are SMEs is a second reality that really supports why this workshop. You are, those of you who are SMEs in the audience, you really are the job creators, the growth creators, the foreign exchange generators of the region, and supporting you in your growth is really critical to to the growth, bringing back positive growth to the region. So this is why the center thought about a workshop like this, the internationalization of SMEs. And